Mix TV presents the Southeast Tennessee Sports Show. Presented by Check Into Cash, your one-stop money shop. Also by Hardee's. Hardee's tastes like America. Now it's time for your local sports highlights and interviews with your host, Ryan Lovelace.
Welcome to the Southeast Tennessee Sports Show presented by Check Into Cash and Hardee's. I'm your host, Ryan Lovelace. An exciting episode this week. First, we have our Hardee Scoreboard, followed by our male and female performers of the week. Then we're going to take a quick break, and we have interviews with 4 Bradley football players, 4 Cleveland football players on the big rivalry game that is on tonight. Kickoff is at 7 o'clock at Benny Monroe Stadium. You can listen on Mix 104.1 and Talk 101.3 The Buzz. You can also watch on Mix TV. But first, let's get into the Hardee Scoreboard update to recap the week of sports last week in the high school world. Starting off with Baylor. Baylor with a big offensive showing versus Innsworth, winning 52-28. And McCallie versus a Georgia powerhouse Calhoun. They make it look easy. McCallie with a big 18-point win. Both Baylor and McCallie are undefeated. Moving on, Sweetwater wins in overtime. They go for 2 and the win in overtime over Rockwood, and Sweetwater escapes with a big win in overtime. Meanwhile, East Hamilton, they come out close when they were down early. They come up, Juan Ballard, big performance. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. East Hamilton wins by 8. They're also 2-0. Polk County, the undefeated Polk County Wildcats, go to Sequoia, who has not won a game since the 2018 season, and take care of business. Polk County wins by 4+ touchdowns, 29-0. Meanwhile, you heard him last week, Connor DeLashschmidt, along with that Silverdale offense, puts 33 points on the board versus Franklin Road Academy, and the Silverdale Seahawks are also 2-0. They're looking for a big season. Moving on, McMinn Central and Tellico. McMinn Central was up big early, but Tellico storms back to get the 2-point win. McMinn Central has not won a game yet this year. Meanwhile, on the other end of the county, the Cleveland Raiders traveled to McMinn County and faced off against the Cherokees. A big win for the Raiders. Great defensive performance. They win by 4 and they move to 2-0. Meanwhile, back in Bradley County, the Bradley Central Bears go to Walker Valley, and that Damon Floyd black hole defense dominates the Walker Valley Mustangs. They win convincingly, 24-10. Meanwhile, switching over to girls soccer last night, unlike football, Walker Valley got the best of Bradley. Their girls soccer team wins 7-0 over the Bradley Bearettes. Meanwhile, staying with soccer, also last night, Cleveland got shut out by McMinn County, 9-0 mercy rule on the turf. Moving on to volleyball, Cleveland volleyball, big week for them. They sweep Maryville, best of 3. They win 2 for Maryville's none. Big win for Cleveland volleyball. Also, Cleveland volleyball at that same tournament, they handled Knox Catholic 2-0. So 2 big sweeps for Maryville. Meanwhile, Bradley volleyball 2 nights ago versus Ray County, they go to 5 sets. Exciting matchup. The Bearettes win in 5 sets, 3-2. And then lastly, the big volleyball game last night, Cleveland versus Bradley at the arena. The night before the Cleveland-Bradley football game, a lot of drama there. Cleveland takes care of business with a 3-0 sweep. The first and third sets were close. Second, the Raiders win convincing. Big week for Raiders volleyball. Big week for the Raiders. As we all know, the big matchup versus Bradley tonight in football. We talked about it. But still, touching on last week, that East Hamilton score. East Hamilton won by 8 on the back of Juan Ballard, the junior running back. I could not get down for an interview with him. We couldn't make our schedules work. But here's a quick highlight video to show you how amazing he was this week. As you saw, a huge week from Juan Ballard, running for 265 yards and 4 touchdowns. The 6'1", 195-pound junior running back was just a beast versus Portland, leading his team to an 8-point win. And frankly, it's not a secret. He had a great season last year. He's played 14 varsity football games before this season, running for 2,100-plus yards and scoring 30 touchdowns. The 265-yard performance versus Portland will help. Now, switching gears, talking about Cleveland girls soccer, we're going to send it to visit with our female performer of the week, Ashlyn Robbins at Cleveland High School. Ryan Lovelace here at Cleveland High School, joined by our female performer of the week, girls soccer player Ashlyn Robbins. Ashlyn, 3 straight wins for this girls soccer team over CSAS, McMinn Central, and Polk County. What has been the key to success for this team this year?
We have a great team this year. We have good senior leadership, and we've been working really hard.
So over the past 3 games, you've scored 4 goals for this team. What has been your key to success the past week?
I have a lot of great teammates. The first game against CSAS, we scored 6-0, so we had a lot of other players contributing.
So you mentioned the 0 there. Over the past 3 games, this defense has not allowed a single goal. Can you talk about how good this defense has been?
We have a great defensive line. They've done a good job at keeping it up on the offensive side. We have Jaden, Darian, Leah, Mila, and Amanda, who have been doing really good. And then Alyssa Johnson, who has saved us a bunch of goals and helped us with our wins.
So what are the team's goals for this season?
Our goals are to have 35 total goals scored. We have 9 of those already. And then our main goal is to have a winning season.
So how long have you been playing soccer, and how did you get started?
I started playing when I was 4 for Upward, and so I've been playing for 10 years now.
Lastly, who is your favorite current professional or former professional soccer player?
My favorite soccer player is Abby Wambach.
This has been Ashlyn Robbins here at Cleveland High School. We're going to take a quick break, and after that, we are going to talk about the Bradley and Cleveland football game. We'll be at Bradley Central for some interviews. You're watching the Southeast Tennessee Sports Show presented by Check Into Cash and Hardee's. We'll be back in a few.
Did you wake up craving a made-from-scratch biscuit topped with tender prime rib and a fried egg? How about now? The new prime rib and fried egg biscuit at Hardee's. Feed your happiness.
You're watching the Southeast Tennessee Sports Show presented by Check Into Cash and Hardee's. Now back to your host, Ryan Lovelace.
Ryan Lovelace here at Bradley Central High School, joined by Josh Helsden, Rodney Williams, Jackson Wilson, and Tito Williams. A big win over Walker Valley last week. Jackson, you ran for 200-plus yards, 3 touchdowns. Can you talk about not only your performance, but just how good the offense has been this year?
Well, I got to give it to my starting at the offensive line. You know, they helped me create those big plays that I can make, and just our offense is what it is. It's just good.
Yeah. So not to be overshadowed, your defense was amazing last week versus Walker Valley. So can you tell us more about just how your defense has played this year?
We just want to, line up, do our jobs, do our assignments, and just play to our potential.
So obviously, huge week this week versus Cleveland. Rodney, can you tell us more about how you guys have prepared for this big rivalry game?
Well, we've been working on our assignments. We got to learn how to prepare for them. We got to tackle Tito, of course. We got to stop the deep balls from Destin and do our jobs, really.
So you guys have pretty much dominated Cleveland. You've won 6 in a row. So, Tito, do you guys plan on making it 7?
Yeah, I think we do. We feel confident in our ability. If we just do our job and align right and pursue the ball, we'll be good.
All right, so now a question for everybody. We can start with you and go down the line. So what are your individual goals for this year?
This year, I just want to play up to my potential as a sophomore. I just want to make our region, and if it goes farther than that, then it does.
Like Tito said, play to my potential and want to make it to the state championship.
Play to the next level. And this year, I just want to play to our potential as a team and by myself.
I just want to have a great defense and be a great teammate.
So I know some of these guys hit on it, but what are your team goals for this year?
Team goals?
Team goals.
First, do our jobs, and go as far as we can go.
So, how did you guys get into football, and how long have you been playing football?
Well, my dad played D1 football, so he's just always been my inspiration. So I started playing tackle around like 3rd grade, 4th grade.
I kind of just fell into it in the 4th grade. I've been playing for 6 years, and
I've been playing since I was like 3 or 4 years old. My dad was my coach, and he taught me how to play football, and that's where it started.
I started playing football last year, actually.
So, lastly, what NFL player do you think you play the most like?
I kind of like to model my game over like Sean Taylor, like Jamal Adams type.
Christian McCaffrey.
I say Bobby Wagner.
I'd say J.J. Watt.
This has been Ryan Lovelace here at Bradley Central High School. These Bears will travel to Cleveland to play the Raiders at 7. Now we're going to make the trip over there to speak with some of the Raiders. Ryan Lovelace here at Cleveland High School, joined by Leo Palalay, Tate O'Brien, Destin Thomas, and Drew Lambert. Guys, a big win last week over McMinn County. You guys are 2-0. Leo, you had 14 solo tackles in that game. The defense has been amazing all year. Can you talk about that performance and then just talk about how good the defense has been this year?
We just been unstoppable. That's it.
All right, Drew. The offense has been getting it done. 3 big touchdowns last week. Can you talk more about just the offense and how it's been successful this year?
Yeah, it's been good. Not as good as we wanted it, but we get the job done.
So, Tate, obviously a big week. You guys playing Bradley. Can you tell us how you're preparing for this big rivalry game?
We're just taking it like we do every other week. It's a big game. We're not, paid attention to anything else going on, in the community, on social media, whatever that may be. We're just focused on the game, focused on being us, and not worry about what anybody else says.
So, Destin, you guys have won back-to-back games to start the year for the first time since 2017. Are you going to make it 3 straight wins against Bradley?
Hey, Tito, if we come out perfect, not perfect, hold on. If we come out
do our jobs
and do our jobs, y'all do not stand a chance.
All right, and now for everybody, we're going to start with Leo and just go down the line. What are your individual goals for this year?
To make it far, to make it deep in the playoffs.
I would just say, individually, I want to put myself in a position where I could earn an education, play college football.
Get the heck out of Cleveland.
I'd just say try and go undefeated and go deep in the playoffs this year.
So you guys mentioned on it, but Tate, what are your team's goals for this year?
We just want to come out and win more games than we've had in a long time, honestly. We feel like we have the ability to beat everybody on our schedule, and whether we do that or not is going to be dependent on how we play and if we come out and play like we need to play. And make a deep playoff run, make it first past the first round.
So again, with all you guys, how did you get into football and how long have you been playing?
I've been playing since I was 5.
Playing 6th grade year, yes sir.
Started in 6th grade.
Yeah, I've been playing since I was 6.
All right, last question. Which NFL player do you guys think you play most like?
Myself, because there's nobody else like me.
I would say on defense, T.J. Watt, and on offense, George Kittle.
I would say Jerry Rice because I'm not the fastest, but I'm not the slowest, and also I'm unguardable.
There you go. I see myself like Josh Allen.
All right, thank you guys. Cleveland versus Bradley tonight at 7 p.m. You can listen on Mix 104.1 and Talk 101.3 The Buzz. Also, you can stream it on Mix TV. From Ryan Lovelace, we're here at Cleveland High School. We're going to send it back to the station.
You heard it there from Cleveland and Bradley. Obviously a big rivalry game. They both think they can win, and it's going down tonight at Benny Monroe Stadium on the turf. New scoreboard, new Jumbotron up there. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. Tickets are selling like hotcakes. There's probably not much time left to get them. But if you do, you can get them at the Town Squire, Gobble Automotive, or Cook's Food Store. If you're not going to the game, you can listen to it right here on Mix 104.1. You can listen on Talk 101.3 The Buzz, and you can watch it on Mix TV. We're expecting a really fun game tonight, a really fun show next week recapping all these games. But as for this week, this has been Ryan Lovelace on the Southeast Tennessee Sports Show presented by Check Into Cash and Hardee's. We will see you next week.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of the Southeast Tennessee Sports Show presented by Check Into Cash and Hardee's. We will see you back here next week.